you as usual. Well, my name is MacDella and I'm a philanthropist turned politician. Was born and raised here in Montserrat County. I was later moved to River G County, where my mother's family is from. I grew up there. I lived there for a number of years. I believe maybe I was about 8, 9 years old when I returned to Monrovia, and lived here until about 13 years of age, and then the war started. And found myself in exile after the murder of my father. You know, like every other Liberian refugee, I had to make ends meet or just make do of life. While I was in the Ivory Coast, I waited to see how I could join my family in the United States. My mother tried to obtain a visa for us. She eventually, after 2.5 years of being there, she got an immigration visa. My brothers and I went over to the United States, and when you're in Liberia, you dream about this amazing, incredible life in the United States where everyone has a big house, everyone has a big car, and everyone's just happy. But unfortunately, when I got to the United States, my mom had lost everything. She was in a very small apartment in the ghettos of Newark, New Jersey. My mom was just trying to make ends meet. When she lived in Liberia during the normal days, she was a nurse, operating nurse, and when she got to America, they told her that her nursing degree just didn't, she had to go back to school if she wanted to work in the nursing field in America. But she had 6 children to take care of, and she couldn't go back to school because who was going to pay her school fees, who was going to take care of her children? It was a lot. So she had to get into the workforce to work whatever job she could find to take care of us. And so I found myself in the ghettos of Newark, New Jersey, where there was so much crime. Newark was just at the time, in 1993, was just the most, just crazy place to be as a child, as a young teenager. Drugs, prostitution, everything, gun violence was there in Newark. And so I didn't have money, and I wanted an education. I asked about education, how can I go to school? And they told me I could go to a government school, a public school as they call it in America. And so I enrolled in a local public school called Barringer High School. And while I was in Barringer High School, I did very well. I graduated with high marks, and they gave me a scholarship to go to college, and any college of my choice in the state of New Jersey. I went to the College of New Jersey, where I obtained a 4-year college degree in communication, electronic communications. And with that, I was able to obtain a job in corporate America, moved to New York City, the Big Apple, I should say. And my job was great. I loved the life that was provided for me through having a job or by having a job. I immersed myself in a New York society and became a part of the who's of the world, and jet setting across the world. We woke up one morning, we didn't have work to do. We went to Italy, we went to France, we went to wherever we went to. It was just a way of life all of a sudden. But during all of that, I thought about my home, I thought about Liberia, what was going on, all of those young women who didn't have the luck that I had to migrate, even though it was uncertain migration. I didn't know where I was going, I didn't know what was going to happen to me, but my story ended up good. I ended up in New York City, one of the greatest cities in the world. And I got a great job. I was making money, but I couldn't stop thinking about those young people in Liberia who were still going through the crisis. And so I started the MacDella Foundation in my office, actually, in New York City, to help channel resources to Liberia. And through that initiative, I was able to return home in 2005 to come and see what was really happening in Liberia. When I got here, I was shocked. I was shocked by what I saw. We had destroyed our country. We had nothing to show for it. We fought a horrible war, but there was absolutely nothing gained besides just destroying every fabric of our society, our economic, our political, our social fabric. Everything was destroyed. And so I came back home in 2005 to see what I could do to help. And I, decided to go into helping orphans and women's organization. And so that's what I did. I started just revitalizing, my foundation's initiative to focus on helping women, children, and youth. So since 2005, I've been doing that. It's been fantastic. It's give me a platform to serve my people, to serve the people of Liberia. Through my philanthropic initiative, I built a school. I helped women's group. I put some young people through college, giving them a better opportunity to be something more than what our current state will allow them to be. It's been a great journey, and today I find myself into policy because I know a philanthropist can do but so much. It's like aid. You give someone a temporary relief, but not a long-term solution. So going into politics today will allow me to put in mechanism through the area of education, healthcare, affordable housing, technology, investment, to give people long-term sustainability for a better future. And so that's pretty much MacDella Cooper in sort of a nutshell.
Now, Madam Cooper, having introduced yourself so lengthily and with details, let's look at your developmental plan. You being a philanthropist and getting involved with politics. Like you said, philanthropic is a short-term a giveaway, but a politicking will give you that avenue where you can make law and become definite. So let's know some of your plans, developmental-wise.
Sure. My plan for Montserrado, it's really to do three simple things, which is necessary in any nation, in any economy, any part of the world. What I'm proposing for Montserrado, it's pretty simple. I want to put money in people's pocket. And that's usually a question someone will ask me, what do you mean by putting money in people's pocket? How do you put money in every citizen of Montserrado County pocket? People often say there are 1.7 million people. How do you get money in the pockets of every citizen? Well, it's a simple plan. I'll come back to that in a minute. Besides helping create a better economy, putting money in people's pocket, I also want to see to it that I'll put our children in school. Education, especially today, is extremely critical. I came from a very humble beginning, but it was through education I was able to move myself from extreme poverty to a middle class, and wherever you call me, I am today, upper middle class. It was through education. I couldn't have done it without education. And number three, a better health care. You know, so many of our Liberians, citizens are dying from commonly curable disease, and we're still struggling with those things. It's just because of the lack of a good, sustainable healthcare system. And so the three things I'm proposing is one, work on the economy. Number two, put our kids in school. It's imperative that all Liberian children are in school. And number three, just help jumpstart a good healthcare system. So those are the three things I want to do. And with regards to boosting or revitalizing the economy, today there are no jobs in Montserrado. The citizens are, people are just trying to make ends meet, living on less than $1 per day. That's no way to develop any nation. And Montserrado is pretty much like Liberia, because Montserrado has half the population living here in the county. Liberia has a 4.7 million inhabitants, citizens, and you have 1.7 of those, 1.8 living in Montserrado County. So it is the most populated county in the country. And my plan for helping the economy or revitalizing the economy is really diversifying our sectors, our industries, and going out to the world and inviting investors to come and invest in our markets. We have so many opportunities for investment in Montserrado County alone. Just leave the rest of Liberia for now and let's focus on Montserrado. We gotta get people to work. We gotta get the citizens to work. No one who's not working can earn. And in order to earn long-term sustainable income, we gotta get them working. So we gotta, create suitable documents detailing every investment opportunity we have in Montserrado County, whether it's agriculture, it's aquaculture, it's fishery, it's whatever it is. It's ecotourism. We have got to detail the value of those investment opportunities, go across the world and sell Montserrado County, send invitations out to bring investors who are looking to invest in new markets. You have high-risk investors. Liberia is still a very high-risk environment, and we know that. We know that it's a small market, it's a high-risk market, so we are not going to get the top investors running to Montserrado right up front, but we will have investors who are already taking high risk in developing countries and looking for smaller markets. We will get them here to invest in our country or in our county, and that's my number one plan for helping to, in order to revitalize the economy. The second thing is education. Education is imperative. I'm so in shock that we take education so lightly in Montserrado County. I don't think one child should be left out of a schoolhouse. As long as you're between the ages of 3 to 18, you must be in an academic setting. And government, we should work for our people to provide access to education, because it's everyone's human rights. This is not an option where government can say, oh no, we're not going to have school. We must have school. Children must be in school. There is no question, there's no if, buts, or ands about it. Children must be in school. So my plan to establish free education across the county is to identify the government schools around the districts, around the county, one school, one district policy I have. One district, one good government school. I will identify a government school, revitalize that school, revamp it, refurbish it, renovate it, make sure I get the right trained teachers, qualified teachers in there, pay their salary every month, give them a decent salary that they can live on to sustain their families, and make sure they receive those salaries every month. Get rid of the ghost payrolls in the education ministry, and make sure our kids have the resources like pencil, pen, all the books in school so that they can learn and we can prepare them for universities. And so that's my plan for Montserrat, creating a better public school or government school system so that our mothers who are selling their bid about them will keep their money, but their children should still be able to obtain an education. Because now, when I go across Montserrat County, I talk to mothers, especially mothers who are in the market selling. They tell me, Madam, we have to use our little bit of our money to pay private school because we don't trust our public school, our government schools. And I want to change that, and that's my plan for Montserrat. The third thing is to do the same with the healthcare sector. Identify clinics that we can work through in each district so that people are not jumping across districts to get the social services they need, but creating a local healthcare center that will provide treatment. If someone comes in with a curable disease or illness, they get a basic treatment. I'm doing it right here in my district. It works, and we can do it across every district of Montserrat County. These are the three things I want to do over the next 90 days of my administration when I'm elected as a senator of Montserrat County. Yes, of course, people will argue and say that is not a role of a senator. A senator is supposed to oversight, and push bills and approve appointments, those basic things. But if you're a good senator, you look out for the better interests of the people. You go and lobby for resources that that you're not getting from government. If government has a budget shortfall, you have to have a lobbying power, not just domestically but internationally. Call on your international partners to come in and assist the county, not just to go in the house and lobby within the house and if nothing is doing in the house and nothing is doing in your county. Well, I have a lobbying power internationally. I have the contact, I have the investors. They are very interested. So I know all of these things are going to be accomplishable within the first 7 months of my administration. So I look forward to moving Montserrat in the right direction through building a stronger economy, getting our young people into school, and making sure our
So, Madam Cooper, let's get to know from you. How is it like with these elections, moving around in the rainy season, 17 electoral district in Montserrat? What's the response? How is it happening?
Well, from the moment I was petitioned, I've gotten really great feedbacks from the communities and the different groups. Since the petitioning, when I was approved as an official candidate to participate in the elections, in the by-elections for Montserrat senatorial seat, people have not stopped coming to my residence, first of all, and so going around the 17 electoral districts. People were saying, well, you're an easy candidate to sell because your name is a household name across the country. And we followed you during the last elections. You were the only female that participated amongst 19 men. And so the women of the country or the county, they're very excited to have a woman who understands the issues of the women, who understands, the young people also know that understand their issues, which they're just trying to eke out an existence. And so I think everyone's pretty excited about my candidacy, and I go around the county to the different districts, and we have these. I guess we're doing what we call the Jehovah Witness style campaigning. Go into small communities, go into communities by communities, talking to the leadership, talking to the citizens of the community, the inhabitants of the communities, and so it's been really fantastic so far. The response we're getting is great. We go to market houses, we go to women's groups, youth groups, and people are very excited. They're very excited. And most of the thing I would say, people are saying, Madam, we've heard you on the radio, we've seen you on television, we see your pictures all over the county, but we have not laid eyes on you. We just want to see you. So can you come to our community? And so the moment I get there, they will say, okay, now that we've seen you, you got our vote. And so it's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting. I enjoy every minute of it. Of course, it's elections always fall during the worst time of the year, which is during the hardcore rain. So the roads are not so great, but it allows me to see the problems of the communities. And so the visitation to each district It has been very, very helpful. And some districts I've gone to, or some communities I'm going through now, I had no idea they were even there. And I didn't know the conditions under which some people were living. Sometimes you go to certain districts or communities and there are no latrines, there are no water system, there's no electricity, the roads are bad, and there's not even a hand pump in the community. And so when I speak to the community dwellers, they will tell me, Madam, we really need help in this community. We're here barely surviving. We have no money, we have no food, we have no LEC, we have no water system. And it's deplorable. It's deplorable because in 2019, Liberia, as I always say, was the oldest independent nation on the continent of Africa. We were the envy of most of the countries we hear about today, but yet still there are communities within our country that has no latrine, no toilet, no water system, no electricity. People don't even have a decent school system, neither a health clinic. It's really disappointing. It's really disappointing. I will say that with conviction because it shouldn't be this way. It shouldn't be this way. We need leadership. We need good leaders that will go in and try to fight harder for our people, to fight harder for our children, to fight harder for this generation. We should not leave one child behind. Our education system has failed our young people. Today they are barely ready for university. We gotta change that. We gotta change that if we mean business in Liberia. And so that's why I want to start with Montserrat County. I want to make sure Montserrat County gets the right sort of development plan and way forward so that every citizen of Montserrat can move forward together. So the elections has been, this particular election has been a really great one for me. The response is overwhelming, but I tell people I'm not going to make promises I know I cannot deliver on. And so don't expect me to come and be like another politician that made promises and they can't fulfill it. I'm going to make promises that I know I can fulfill. The great thing is we all knew the elections were going to be postponed because the election house had not received the resources they were expecting. And so it was inevitable that they were going to have to push the election back. It was no surprise to me. People with good ears hear everything, even the innuendos, you hear the innuendos in every conversation. And you must be able to read between the lines. This is politics. It's no child's play if you're going to say you're surprised over the fact that the election house did not receive the money. So they postponed elections. I mean, it's inevitable. It was obvious that elections were going to be pushed back. So I'm not surprised. I prepare myself for whatever the outcome may be. If the election would have stayed from Monday, my team and I were ready to go. If the election would have been moved backwards, we were ready to continue campaigning, which to me, I always see positive in every situation anyway. And so I'm excited that elections were pushed back because number one, it gives me more time to talk to the voters. It gives me more time to go and visit those groups I couldn't visit because I had such a short window to visit the districts. Yes, it becomes more expensive, but that's just the reality of campaigning. Campaigns is expensive. Like I said, I repeat, it's no child's play. You've got a budget, you got a plan, you got to have some backup plan. So we got an extra week or two. The election commission have not fully disclosed the next date. At least I haven't heard it, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it actually.
Madam Cooper, you are a philanthropist, a politician, and one and only female candidate in the 2017 presidential elections, and now candidate for Montserrat. Let's step outside politics. Let's step outside your humanitarian gesture, your life as a philanthropist. Tell us some other basic involvement.
Sure. My life has pretty much been committed to helping to create more of an educated society in our country. And what do I mean by that? For me, education is it's one of the most important human rights amongst the basic human rights that is granted to each living person. The rights to education, the rights to health care, the rights to nutrition, which is food, having 3 decent healthy meals per day, and the rights to security, which is housing. Those are the 4 basic human rights that is offered to each living person. And you cannot deny a person either one of those. But for me, yes, when you get the food, you eat it, you get the house, you live in it, you get the hospital, but then the part of education is so critical because the world is moving ahead and the world is moving at a rapid speed. And it seems like some part of the world is just moving backwards at a rapid speed as well. And sometimes I find myself in environments where I feel we're regressing versus catching up with the rest of the world. There's advancement in technology, in science, in all these areas, development, and I feel like we're so far behind. We're so far behind. And I want to see a Liberia that's moving, forging forward with the rest of the world. So when I left the United States back in 2005, I came home. I came into a space where I had the options to just make a difference. The opportunity to help was so massive, was so grandeur. And children on the streets that should not be on the street, because that was Liberia's future. Those kids are Liberia's future. How we treat them today is the Liberia we will obtain tomorrow. And so I took all these kids off the streets. I decided to put them in a proper boarding school, a mission school, helping women's group, because women are the backbones of our society. If we don't take good care of them, we will not have a better outcome tomorrow. And so to me, those particular demographic were so important. The women, the youth, the children, put the children in school, get the youth into job and skill training as well as universities, get the women in power, and so the women can make better decisions for themselves and their children. It's all, to me, is this cycle that we must stop. It's a vicious cycle. If we don't care for these particular groups, we're wasting our time. We're wasting our time. We can sit here and talk about building a good economy, building all these things, but if we don't take care of the women of our country, the youth, and our children, especially girl child, we're really not going to go anywhere, because the success of a nation is always measured to how well their women are treated in the society. If a girl is educated, you educate a whole house and a community. And so my philanthropy work has really been about empowering women, the youth, and children. They are the most marginalized group, so it was easy to come home in 2005 and just tackle those areas. I work with women group, like I said, to empower them financially, because there is no empowerment without money, without financing or funding. I see people talk about women empowerment, and they do little class and they call it a day. That's not going to empower no one. You got to give the women resources to go do their small businesses, because women of Liberia, they're strong. They have a strong mind, they have a strong opinion, they have strong wills, but they just need financial backing. So that's what we focus on: training and small loans for women. The next thing is the youth. The youth are the largest demographic of our country, and we have left them out. We constantly tell them their future is tomorrow. No, I tell young people your future starts today, not tomorrow. No one should tell you your future starts tomorrow. Your future starts the moment you're born. You gotta be prepared. You gotta be educated. When you're sick, you need good health care. When you have to have a decent security around you, so you feel secure, meaning a good housing. You got to have at least 2 to 3 meals per day. Those are the things we need to provide for our young people, so they feel that our country, Liberia, care for them, and when they get older, they will care for the country. And so the young people who are just very young, 3, 4, 5 years old, we got to put them in a standard school to go through the grades, up to from primary to secondary. So my philanthropy work has been tackling those issues, trying to empower those demographic of young people and women in the country. It's been the pride and joy of my life, but like I said, eventually I realized I was helping a few thousand individuals, but there are still millions of young Liberians that needed scholarship, and I alone could not provide scholarship for all of them. There are still so many children who are left out of the education process. We have got to fight to get our kids in school, make our public school, our government school a better place and a safe place for them to be. The women need empowerment. They need small microloans. Today the banking system really asks them for too many things they cannot provide. And we have got to reform the banking system so that we can give women microloans for their small businesses. And so my philanthropy work really just kind of merged into politics, because from a political standpoint, if we put in the right policies and laws, we can make sure those basic social services are provided and granted to our citizens. And so hence the reason for the transition from philanthropy to politics.
Thank you so much. Just before we take a leave of you, is there anything that you want to mention we did not ask you in this interview?
No, I think you did a great job. It's always great to sit and have these conversations with you that will eventually go out to the vast majority of the people in the country, so they understand my platform, why I'm running for office, why I'm running to be the senator from Montserrat County. I have a plan for Montserrat County that is more than just a now, here now. It's a long-term sustainable plan. If we start the action now, we will get far within the next few years. You'll see results. You'll see our children going to school. They're healthier. they're stronger, our women are empowered, our young people are they're being granted the opportunities they need to prepare themselves for the adulthood that's approaching them, that's fast approaching them. My plan is holistic, my plan is organic. It will help Montserrado move in the right direction. We will bring investment dollars, we'll create jobs, we'll get our young people into schools, we'll get the healthcare clinics going on, moving forward in the communities. And so that's what I want to do for Montserrado County. I think it's something that will benefit all of us in Montserrado. It would also open up our country for more investment opportunity later on. So I urge everyone to go out and vote for MacDella Cooper to be the next senator from Montserrado County.
Thank you so much.